I'm going to jump forwards and backwards in time. So we're going to do some time travel right now. Just stay with me here. I started in the bike world in 2007, and I was actually tricked into joining, like our group of bike advocates here. I think I can safely say that I'm the slowest bike rider in this room. I bike everywhere very slowly. If you guys want to take a leisurely ride with me. And in 2007, I got involved because I met a woman named Karen Overton, who's the founder of Recycle a Bicycle. She founded Recycle a Bicycle in 1994, which is a project of transportation alternatives. And then 13 years later, decided she was tired of being the executive director of this organization, needed a change, and then wound up at the New York City Parks Department with me. Right? And so it was all about trees and parks and green spaces, and then she kept gifting me with jewelry and taking me out on bike rides, and now 6 years later, here I am. So now let's travel back in time to 1994. So Recycle Bicycle started out, like I said before, as a project of transportation alternatives, right? And so we were a youth program, and we were in a middle school classroom in Washington Heights, which we still inhabit to this day. We taught middle school students how to become bike mechanics, and that's what we do. We're in 20 different schools in New York City right now, teaching bike mechanic skills. And then a year later, in 1995, our kids' ride club was born, and it also still exists to this day. It's 17 years old right now, and it's a partnership we have with Little Hospital, where Dr. Ed Fishkin, which is another important person in our bike timeline, takes between 30 and 100 students each week, or every other week during the school year, and every week during the summer season, on bike, 18 rides in total a year, around on bike rides throughout New York City. So each year he calculates that they ride about 24,000 miles, and they burn close to 2 million calories, right? And so if you calculate that he's been doing this since 1995, he's led over 10,000 kids ages 10 and up, probably ages 10 to 19, on bike rides all over New York City over the past 17 years, which is no small accomplishment, right? Maybe some of you are sitting in this room. In 1996, I'm just going to go on our major milestones. This is like the internet had just been invented. We just got our first personal computer. Mine was a Pentium 285. It was awesome. And now belongs in a museum. But in our pre-internet age, we wrote a publication called Tools for Life, right? And it was a startup guide to youth bicycling and recycling programs. We mailed a lot of things. At conferences, we handed them out to other folks, and a lot of other youth bike programs started from this little booklet that we wrote. And we still have about 100 copies in our office. If any of you guys are interested in the original, hand-printed copy, let me know, or come visit me in Dumbo. This is very historical, very exciting. And then in 1998, I think TA got tired of us. I believe that it was an EPA grant that we had gotten, right? And has anyone here ever dealt with a federal grant before? Federal grants here? Yeah, so federal grants are really, what's the word? Tedious, tiresome, long, boring, time-consuming, right? And so I think TA, pushed us out of the womb, and then we were released into the world. We became our own nonprofit, 501c3, in 1998. We started up, continued doing what we were doing here. We continued working in more schools. In 1995, the League of American Cyclists, which is a national advocacy organization, we host Recycle a Bicycle and Bike New York hosted the National Educators Conference here. In 2006, at this point, we have 3 locations. We have a store in the East Village, we have a store in Dumbo, and we had just opened up a warehouse in Long Island City in Queens, which is a warehouse and a job training center, and a former meat freezer, for those of you who have had the privilege of coming to join us. We have volunteer night is there every Wednesday night, so you can take a tour of our meat freezer there if you like. Yeah, and then I joined the scene. I was tricked into the scene in 2007. I actually joined the TA Queens committee at first because they wanted to keep tabs on what they were doing. Because they worked for the Parks Department, and we had a lot of greenways on the section of Queens that I was working in. And we started the Float of Queens in 2008. I'd like to note that I think the Queens Committee in 2007 was part of the revival of the borough committees. And sorry, other boroughs. I know we're in Brooklyn right now, and the Bronx is here, Manhattan's here. Queens was the first borough committee to reform in 2007. Our claim to fame here. 2008 sort of Queens. And then in 2010, I like this story personally. A bunch of us from Recycle Bicycle went to the National Bike Summit, all of us for the first time in 2010. And has anyone ever gone to the National Bike Summit before? Okay. All right. So in 2010, if you walk into the National Bike Summit, it's basically like walking into. I should maybe watch my words since I'm being filmed right now. But it's like walking into a room full of Santa Clauses. Right? It's like a lot of like elderly white men that were dictating all of our transportation policy and everything that we're doing. And we felt all of us from Recycle Bicycle felt really uncomfortable as like an all-female group that went under the age of 50. We had 2 high school students with us. And so on the bus ride home, right, this is where everything happens, on the bus after the after party, on the bus ride home. So on the bus ride home, our 2 interns kind of read us the riot act. We're like, this is cool, but we didn't have anyone to talk to. And so they created like a list of demands. So the next year in 2011, the Youth Bike Summit was born, right? In 2012, I'm not sure why, but it was a pretty like magical Youth Bike Summit. The Youth Bike Summit happened again for the 2nd time. And out of that, I think a lot of different groups were formed. A lot of groups all over the nation were formed. It's a national event, so 300 youth and adults from all over the country come to the event. But WeBike formed out of the 2012 Youth Bike Summit. POW, People on Wheels, now known as the Biking Public Project, because People on Wheels is the name of an Indiana wheelchair group. We have a trademark on that, so we can use that for. Who knew? Was born out of that. And which brings us to the modern day. And I think on a national basis, that Santa Claus convention that we went to in 2010, is like really rapidly changing right now. There are a lot more women involved in cycling. There's a concerted effort to bring in more minorities, more younger people into the conversation, although the interpretations of what that is still up for grabs. And in a couple weeks, on June 22nd, the Biking Public Project will have its first art exhibit of portraits that we've been taking of folks around Queens in Jackson Heights at the Jackson Heights Art Festival. So, woohoo!